Welcome to the Chosen Change podcast. I'm Josh. We don't got Rob today, but we got a special guest, Brandon. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you guys for having me. Studio looks great.
Thank you. And I know we kind of talked just a little bit. You sent us in, so I mean, do a little recap. You know, it just basically looked like there was some trouble in your early teens. You know what I mean? Before that, looks like you had some losses, and then that's whenever, after that, you kind of decided to start your business.
Absolutely, yep.
So we'll definitely touch on those, those things, figure out what that chosen change moment was for you. But I just wanted to say thank you for joining and thank you for reaching out.
Yeah, absolutely. I was excited to be on it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, I think really, I know we talked about Army and, all that stuff. But before we get there, what was life for you like growing up as a kid? Like, did you great home and all?
Yeah, growing up was phenomenal. I feel like I had one of the best childhoods. That's why we'll get into later why, certain challenges that I faced were just that, an absolute challenge and stress on your mind. But growing up, no, I played sports. I played football, basketball, baseball, ran track. I did everything. So had two older brothers and life was pretty solid growing up. Yeah.
So you're the youngest?
I'm the baby.
The baby?
I'm the baby.
Okay. Are you, you grew up here, Albuquerque?
Yeah, I grew up in Albuquerque, West Side, Taylor Ranch.
Okay.
Taylor Ranch area. Went to LBJ, Tremisa. Anyone that knows. So that area right there, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, and then you played sports. I'm sure that was an impact for you. Kind of taught you some discipline, taught you,
Yeah, absolutely. My dad was actually really hard on me growing up. And he really instilled that level of discipline in me since I was a young kid. There's days where my middle brother actually used to set up chairs for me in the backyard just so I could practice my plays for Yaffle. Or, when we used to go to River Point and my dad would tell me, hey, there was kids there working out today. Where were you at? So, as a kid, the lesson was a little rough, right? Because I'm like, damn, man, I just kind of wanted to
be a kid.
I wanted to be a kid, but he knew how to poke. Me. He knew my personality, and it was those moments that really pushed me back into the gym, and I would start to go every day, even as a young kid. We hang out there all day.
I think that's so crucial, and I feel like a lot of the times that's kind of what we've gotten away from is poking at kids and being blunt with kids, right?
Exactly.
It's for whatever reason, it's softer, and I mean my dad was the same way. All right, get up. And it didn't matter what time I stayed up till playing video games. I was up at 7:30 o'clock, 7:30.
Which is good. Yeah, we had to get up and pour concrete or do rocks or something like that outside. And you had to wake up and do it with a smile on your face.
That's it, yeah.
He let me know right away if I wasn't sitting up correctly, if I didn't, whatever it was, he let me know.
I had an attitude, whatever.
He used to tell me as a young kid, and it's something that still sticks with me to this day. And he would tell me, every day you're not working, someone else is. And every time you're at practice, so is everyone else. Meaning, yeah, you were at practice for 2 hours, but so was everyone else. So what are you going to do outside of that 2 hours that's going to separate you from the people around you? And that one sticks with me to this day.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I'm sure at that moment in time, you were just thinking about sports. But sadly, fast forward 20 years,
Fast forward to now, it's like, okay, they were in the gym, I was in the gym. Fine. What am I going to do outside of here to create that separation, to put myself and the people around me where I believe we.
I think that falls into, obviously personal growth. That falls into spiritual. That falls into
all of it.
Career, business. Like physical, like
all of it.
Yeah, and I now that I have kids and now that I'm older, I look back and there's times where I'm like, that's what my dad was talking about.
Yeah,
and sometimes it takes me 20 years to really be like, oh, you know what? Or I talk to my dad, I'm like, how did you do it? Like, what? Like, he's not listening to me. Like, my son's not listening to me.
Exactly.
Like, oh, you didn't listen to me either. So,
yeah.
We'll figure it out whenever he figures it out.
Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I try to go to the gym first thing in the morning. Mm-hmm. Because, again, everyone has to go to work. Everyone's working 9 to 5. But I push myself to wake up earlier because I feel like it gives me that edge. Not everyone's willing to get up super early. I mean, you guys do those really long walks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is that same degree and twist of what we're talking about is doing extra. Not everyone's willing to get up and put that work in right away.
It sucks. It sucks to wake
Well, it's terrible.
o'clock in the morning.
I'm tired.
I'm like,
Yeah.
but like the thing is, it's like not only is it the pressure's on you whenever you don't make it, you know what I mean, but it's also like you're like, dang, I feel like I'm letting them
Letting
down.
people around you down.
I didn't.
That's the worst
I
thing.
didn't show up. I didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Because, they're pushing, they're working. Where were you at?
yeah.
What's your excuse? And you're like,
Yeah, alarm's gonna go.
It's you can't pull those ones out. You almost can't even say. You're just like, hey, you know what? Just let me have it because I
didn't make it. Oh, for sure. And in our group, they will let you have it,
which is good.
for the next 3 days until probably the next person that don't show up.
It's all about accountability.
That's it. And accountability it's huge. You know what I mean, it's especially whenever you're being held accountable the right way.
Absolutely. And accountability is really the only way that you're going to be able to push yourself forward. If you don't, I try to blame everything on myself if something goes wrong, whether that's business. It doesn't matter what the situation is. I try to put that blame on myself because that's the only way that I can tweak the situation to move forward. But if I sit there and make excuses and say, well, it's his fault, her fault, their fault, well, it's the state's fault, well, the inspector said that, it doesn't matter.
No.
How can I prevent that from even happening again? So,
and I mean, that's the mindset that probably separates you from everyone else, because instead of pointing the finger and, oh, well, the inspector usually does this.
Exactly.
Like, you know what? No, okay. Just teach me how I can be better next time.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying too. I try to blame myself for everything. Respectfully, right? Don't.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Not being
extreme. Yeah. But like if a job goes bad, should I put someone differently on there?
Yeah.
Should we have called soon? What could we have done to prevent this from happening?
And I think those are the growing pains that you only learn within experience. You know what I mean? With everything in life, it's one of those things you just got to walk in. So you graduate high school.
Yeah.
Right? You decided to join the Army?
Yeah.
What led to that decision? Why was the Army?
So I know we'll get into a little bit of this later too, but immediately 2 days after I graduated high school is when my middle brother passed away.
Oh, okay.
So he right away, it shook me. Like I said, we'll get into it more.
Yeah.
But it was that's kind of what kind of guided me. I felt like I needed some more structure in my life. And I've always liked discipline. I've always liked working out. I've always liked that stuff. So I thought the Army would be great. Mm-hmm. They pay for school once you're done. You get to travel a little bit.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of a brotherhood or of a close-knit group of people. So that's what really got me engaged and going.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so was it, I mean, so your brother passes away. So that pushed you to go to Army, or was that hand something?
It wasn't
already?
It didn't push me directly as far as like my brother passed away, now I have to go to the Army.
Yeah.
It was like my brother passed away. I feel lost. I mean, I'm 18. He was my best friend, the closest sibling ever. And I felt like I needed direction again. Mm-hmm. That's what kind of guided me towards the Army.
How close in age were you?
Me and him were 4 years apart.
Oh, okay. So you guys were
you close.
Because your oldest, how old was your other brother?
He was 7 years older than I was.
7 years?
Yeah.
So I mean, you guys are kind of like in different phases in life.
Yeah.
If they're probably similar. And then your middle brother probably had the best of it all, because he could relate to him, but he could also relate to you.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, I mean, me and him, like I said, we'll get into it, but me and him grew up super close together. Wherever he went, because my parents were split up, whatever house he ended up staying at was the house I was going to go to. It didn't matter about anything else. So
it didn't matter about your older brother or all that?
It didn't even matter who was there. It would have been some person off the street. If he was going, I was going.
Yeah.
So
that's I grew up with siblings on my dad, but one of them was my stepsister. She was 6 years older than me.
Yeah.
We hated each other because there was just that stepbrother, stepsister, like, you know what I mean? And then my brother, my baby brother, he came, but I was already 11. So it was like, you know what I mean? Like I didn't have well, I had my cousin, we're 6 weeks apart.
Okay.
And so we're like, I mean, we are like brothers, but we didn't live in the same house. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
But on the weekend, we were together
all the time.
I'd pick him up. I was the first one that drove, so I'd pick him up every day to go to school. So, I mean, we were together all the time. But as far as like 24/7, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, but
Yeah, no, I guess then, yeah, I was pretty lucky.
and then now I got 5 kids, and so now I'm like,
Damn.
so now my kids, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, dang, do you guys ever like stop fighting? Do you guys
Are they close in age?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have anywhere all the way from well, my son will be 16 in February to 7 years old. So yeah, I have a 12-year-old, 10-year-old, 9-year-old, and a 7-year-old.
Oh, smokes.
Yeah. So they're like super close in age.
Well, I got a 6-month-old, so you know I'm running the whole kid thing right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And yeah, you'll get it. It's fun. It's fun while it lasts. Well, what came next after that?
After the Army thing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so I was discharged a week before I was supposed to leave to Fort Jackson.
Okay.
I had a possession charge from when I was, I must have been, I guess I was 18. That one was fresh out of high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was with a friend of mine. We were just randomly in the neighborhood. We were in Cabazon, actually. Some random neighborhood. And I thought that it was kind of sneaky or whatever you want to call it. We parked on a road where it didn't have houses, but maybe like a mailbox or something. You know what I mean? Where it's just like a street, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, so we parked there, and then there was a cop that drove by in front of us. And then they were like, hey, don't be scared. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever, cool, whatever. You know, I'm not scared. I mean, I'm 18. They can't get me yet. He comes back around and then stopped us. And then, yeah, I got a possession charge. So what happened with the Army thing, and this is me being a naive teenager, is they told me that it comes off of your record. So I never disclosed to the Army that I had the possession charge. So a week before I was supposed to leave, I'd put my 2 weeks in at Smith's. I worked at Smith's, and then my 2 weeks in at Garcia's Kitchen. And then a week before, there was a private investigator that called me and said, hey, we need to talk to you. And right away I knew it. I was like, shit, like there's only one reason why this person would have to talk to me. I sat down with them, and yeah, he just told me, he said, hey, are you aware of this? What was this? And I was like, that was me. Yeah, but I thought it was off my record. Like I was legitimately kind of shocked. Again, being naive.
Yeah.
And then he said, well, you can't go anymore.
So you were 18, so they
No, I when I was actually, the story I was telling you when I was 18. When I was trying to get into the Army, I must have been 19.
No, but whenever the cop got you guys got you for possession, you're already 18.
Yeah.
So what did they tell you? Oh, you're still a minor, and it'll come off, or how did that work?
He didn't. I don't fully remember.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a whole long time ago. And like I said, I was nervous. Like, you know, I was 18 and pulled me over, and I have to get out of the car, and I'm with someone, and I'm like, damn.
So you find out you can't go to the Army no more. Is it kind of like, what was like that mood where you just like, oh, like crap. Like, I mean, I just put in my 2 weeks at both places.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
My plans that I had to go, like, gone.
Yeah, so that was one of the few first stories of like true adversity.
Yeah, you got to pivot.
Because it shook me. It did, you know, the Army was something that I really wanted to do. I trained every day. I was running every day. I was doing a bunch of stuff. I was actually doing kickboxing and jujitsu and all that stuff at the time. And I gave it up to truly focus on going to the Army. Mm-hmm. Like that is what I wanted.
You went all in.
I went all in. And yeah, you know, for a few months, I was definitely hurt because that was the plan.
What did those few months look like? Did you continue to just keep pushing, or did you maybe fall back a little bit?
I didn't fall back. I actually tried to get into the Navy as well, and that was some big old dragged out process, and then ended up just throwing that option away. No, you know, immediately after that, I actually got into the C&M trade program for HVAC.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, one thing that I've always been is I've had a relentless pace and a relentless speed. So was I hurt? Yes, absolutely. But even now when I'm hurt or I'm frustrated or I'm angry, I try to go full speed at the next thing because I've learned the faster you move, the faster you're going to get to where you want to get to. So I didn't sit there and feel sorry for myself. I was more hurt over my brother still at the time than I was like, oh man, you know. No, I was just like, okay, what's the next thing? The reason why the Army did suck at the time is because I was going in to do HVAC with them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could definitely see that, but like, I mean, you just you just pivoted, right? Like, okay,
I did the best I could.
what else can I do? Where else can I?
It absolutely hurt and it absolutely sucked, but I did try to continuously move to the next thing right away. And that next thing was to just get into the trade program at CNM. Yeah.
And how long were you there for? What did
I did the CNM program for must have been about 1.5 or 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 4 semesters.
Okay.
So
what was
it was about 2 years. I just couldn't remember if I did summer and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I immediately.
And that, I mean, so HVAC was just something you knew you wanted to do right away, or is there something that intrigued you? You weren't really sure.
Yeah, I get asked that question all the time, but no, nothing's ever intrigued me.
Yeah.
You know, I helped my dad put in a swamp cooler as we were a kid. I helped him trench gas lines and stuff, and that was my thing. I knew I was going to always do HVAC or some kind of construction management because I've always just loved the style. The whole concept of just the construction industry is something that I've always enjoyed and loved.
Piecing, you know what I mean? Your piece inside of what.
Yeah, game planning, managing. I've always liked it. So I jumped right into that.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, I mean, if you're already were a kid doing the work and you were just like, yep, this is where it's at. So I feel like those kind of, it was hard for you to lose your identity then whenever the Army said, no, we can't do it. Cause you're like, well, I already know what I'm going to do. So
I have a plan.
Yeah. Let me just figure out where the next.
And then I need to rewind briefly really fast because before I got into that program, that's when I worked at a different company here and they actually fired me. Now that one hurt. Not that the Army didn't hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt.
So then you went to go work like as an apprentice somewhere or?
Yeah.
Or
But I wouldn't even call it an apprentice. You know, I that place still frustrates me a little bit. I still carry that chip on my shoulder, but I was a shop guy. I just worked in there and I swept floors and I picked up fittings and dropped off parts and would occasionally get that field time.
Yeah.
But they never really gave me a chance. So
how long were you there for?
I was there for about 1 year or so.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you were there for quite a while then.
Yeah.
And then they let you go and it didn't let you go or it was.
No, again. So they wanted me to stay in the shop and clean it up. And I started to get fed up with it. I'm like, I'm not going to do this. And I know what we're talking about. I know where I want to be. I want to be in the field. I want to be doing HVAC. That's what I want to be doing. So there was a day in the shop where we were working and I was getting everybody's stuff ready and all their parts ready and getting the equipment loaded and all that. And one of the guys was going to go run a bunch of service calls. And again, just being naive, I got to this point, so it doesn't even matter. And I said, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to go with him. So I just took off in the shop, and then the manager called me and says, hey, where you at? I said, I came with this guy, and I'm working with him. And he was like, bring your shit back, you're done. And that sucked. So it's me being a little bit of a rebel, but again, that one pisses me off to this day because I'm like, you guys never even gave me a chance. And I showed up early to that shop every single day at 7 a.m.
Well, the cool thing about it, and it's probably something that your father instilled in you, right? Was you have to start. I mean, you're gonna have to start at the bottom, right? Which
and I was fine with that part.
Most kids don't want to start at the bottom no more. Most kids want, well, I want to be here. But and I was the same way. I busted tires straight out of 18, right?
Yeah.
And because my dad was like, "You going to school?" And I was like, "Nope." He was like, well, "What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "I don't know." And he was like, well, you're going to work from time the sun comes up, time the sun comes down.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what am I going to do? And he's like, I don't know. Go find a job.
Figure it out.
So I went to go to a tire shop and I worked from 7 to 6 every day. And I went from busting tires to semi tires to, you know what I mean? But it was like, I knew I had to start somewhere and then eventually, go up and up. So I could definitely see why that's frustrating because you're like, all right, well,
it's time to pivot and I need to get to the next level. And
I know where I want to be, and clearly they're not helping me get to
and there's no shortcuts, and that's something I know that, but I was willing to do whatever they wanted
to try and
get there. I didn't go in there and complain every day and say, hey, I need to go in the field. Hey, I want to get nothing.
Were there those conversations where you're like, hey, like I want to be more than the shop guy?
Oh yeah, eventually, yeah. I was just saying, like, I didn't go in there like that. I said, hey,
but
I'll do whatever you guys need me to do, and I've always been like that.
But eventually, I want to get.
And
they just.
And I'm glad that they let me go because I eventually ended up at a different company, and that company really took me to the next level. So
that's
you learn that about life, right? Things, if you keep your head in the game and you stay focused, you eventually get to where you want to get to. You can't just keep
It may
driving
look pretty. It's not gonna be pretty.
It's never pretty. There's nothing pretty
It's
about
never pretty. It's never how you envision it as a kid, or how you envision it. Just
even in your mind, you dream and you see it, but in your mind, you're
in there, and you're like, nope, you're gonna fall back.
That's it.
And you're gonna come.
The dreams you have already put you there. You're already there. Like, I see the life I want. But even now, where I'm at now, I'm like, I know it ain't gonna. It ain't gonna. I'm not gonna wake up there tomorrow.
No. But I think that's probably the beautiful thing behind it is all those trials and tribulations, because that's what molds you to keep.
What changes you?
That's what molds you to keep. Whenever you're at the pinnacle, you know what I mean, and you have the life that you've always wanted, because it's like. Someone can drop $1 million on your lap at 20 years old, and you have no wisdom, you have no experience.
Been through anything.
You're going to blow it, right? And it's like, okay, what are you going to do with that money whenever you don't have no experience?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think as as an entrepreneur or someone that really wants to come up, you need to look for contact. You need to look for adversity, because you cannot find and you're not going to sidestep these tribulations that you're going to face.
No.
You need to be prepared to face them and go straight through them, because after that one, there's the next one.
Yeah.
And eventually you're going to break if you don't have that mindset of it does not matter who, what, when, where, why. I'm going to push forward and get this thing happening.
Whatever I got to do.
Whatever it takes.
We're going to figure this out.
Whatever it takes. Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand about entrepreneurship. It's like everyone thinks it's all glitz and glamour, and I'm like I thought whenever I quit my job back in 2019, I was like, oh, this is I'm going to be my own boss. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, I'm going to have more time with the kids. Well, then I'm like halfway through it, or, I'm in it, and I'm like, this kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie.
Absolutely.
But you also still have to, like, in the middle of it, you still have to be that visionary and be like, no, like, this is the long-term vision.
Yeah. You got to keep your balance. What's interesting is even for myself, I can see it from someone else's perspective, but entrepreneurship is glorified because a lot of us are posting the positive things. I don't post, oh, I just felt like shit today and today's horrible and I have to deal with this meeting and that meeting and workman's comp is calling and I have to renew the insurance and this guy got into an accident and this guy's upset and these guys got into it. You don't post all that stuff.
No.
So people only see the glory of
that was probably one of the hardest things for me to understand about social media. I get on social media and everyone's posting their highlight reel, right?
Because that's what it is.
And I'm sitting there just in the middle of it, and I'm like, bro, this sucks. Like, this person's on their third vacation of the year. Like, I'm struggling. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
So, but that was, and then this is kind of the whole meaning behind this podcast, right? Is we can say how everyone got to this glorious place and how, you know what I mean, where they're at in life. Yeah, cool, great. But let's talk about the stories that took you to get there. Let's talk about the stories that molded you.
Exactly.
And because if we could just impact one person's life that's going through it right now and like, oh man, like this guy's successful and he's kind of going through the same thing I'm going through, or we've had the same childhood, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've done this, and this. So that was our main focus behind the podcast, is just how can we help people that are going through it, and let's talk about the things that no one likes to talk about.
Exactly. And they're all that's the concrete and that's the foundation of actually being an entrepreneur or trying to get somewhere in life, is these situations that we're talking about and the ones that you guys talk about, because that's actually what it takes.
Yeah. No.
Again, you don't snap a finger and have $1 million and a perfect life and the perfect wife and the perfect kid and the perfect employees.
Yeah, no.
It's not how it works.
Everything takes work. Everything in life takes. I mean, anything worth lasting, you know.
Yeah,
it takes work.
Absolutely.
So that place fires you.
Yeah.
Then you go to C&M.
Yeah. Then I go to C&M. Yeah. And I mean, I kind of worked them in together because I'd already started at C&M.
Okay.
So, but either way, yeah. Then
So you're trying to saw the writing on the wall, and you're like, yeah, I need more.
Yeah.
Or this is, you know what I mean? This isn't going to take me here.
So I went to C&M, and at this time I was still training a bunch. I was doing a jiu-jitsu tournament. I tore my meniscus, and that put me out for 6 months. And then I started at TLC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How was TLC? How was that? Like, you learned a lot, got in the field right away?
Yeah, you know, I have a lot of respect for that company. They really try to push people forward, and they seem to actually really have people's backs.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of smaller companies, or I've known people that have worked at smaller companies, and they don't promote and push you forward. I was in TLC's apprenticeship program and all that stuff. So
I have a couple buddies that work for TLC.
Yeah.
And I have heard great things about them. I've never
Solid.
heard someone be like, oh, that's the worst place to work for. Don't ever.
No, I really had your back.
I've heard some really, really great things just as far as like family, you know what I mean? Like family oriented or, you know,
just did that.
they want you to move up in the company. They want you to do this. You know what I mean? Like, so, again, I've heard nothing but great things about them.
Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to do even now where I'm at with my company.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the good and the bad.
For sure. And I think that's probably like the beautiful thing behind now that you're in that position. You're like, okay, I know what not to do and I kind of know what to do. Yeah. You know what I mean, and let me just put my own twist on it. What works for me works for my employees, you know, all that stuff.
Quick story, because I know that we're talking about it. I need to rewind a little bit one more time.
Okay.
There was a time in between those things where I worked at a very small company. They were good people, but we're talking about doing whatever it takes and staying focused.
Yeah.
This was a very small company that did remodel work for realtors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I did all their changeovers, like swamp cooler changeovers. I had an Altima and a little giant ladder. And I showed up and I did that. Well, this is when I was at full-time CNM.
Yeah.
So after I would get out of CNM, I would go do that. So it's just about doing whatever it takes, like exactly what we're talking about.
Whatever.
I paid for my own gas in that Altima, and I had a little stackable ladder.
Yeah.
It was like a
little telescopic ladder.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
I have one in my car now, and I'll pull up, and I have a full gorilla ladder. And everyone's like, open up the trunk, pull it out of the back seat, and I'm like, well, I mean, until I get a truck, like what else? What else am I gonna do? Like it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? But that was probably another thing my dad taught me. Like you can have an excuse.
Exactly.
Everyone has an excuse, right?
Yeah.
He said, if you want, like, how bad do you want it?
How bad do you want it?
How bad do you want it?
And it was moments, discharged from the Army, fired from the first place. I still knew I wanted to do the HVAC.
And nothing was going to stop you.
That wasn't going to stop me. I showed up after school from CNM, and I would go and do their changeovers until, 7:30 at night. And that's what I did. Little giant ladder. Little giant ladder and a tool bag. Some, little kid.
That was the foundation that started it all.
Those are the things that molded me into who I am.
But those are the things that people don't see. Like
they don't see it.
They see you guys now, and a big company on billboards, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Nice trucks, this, that, and this, but they don't see those times that it took just. Like you said, a little giant ladder and a little car, you know what I mean? It's like whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Nothing was going to stop me, and I believe nothing's going to stop me now because I was able to consistently face those things with speed and quickness, like we were just talking about earlier. Pivot. Everyone needs to learn how to pivot because nothing in your life is going to go picture perfect, and the dream that you have, it doesn't work like that.
I wish.
We all wish.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's how you make it, is to be willing to do those things.
So after TLC, what was that moment where you just like, I gotta, like, you know what I mean? Like this isn't like, you know what I mean? I want more, you know what I mean? What did that look like, or what do you want to get into next? I know.
So at the time I was 26. So I was at TLC from 22 to 26.
Okay.
I had finally grown a group. I was a lead tech there. I had 4 people under me. So you're a lead tech, you go and sell it. These guys kind of knock out the work, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Well, I started to get and then I was actually a realtor during that same time. I was just trying to hustle,
Yeah. And
so anyways, I was doing that. And then it just started to dawn on me. I really got to do something. Okay, I want more. So July 4th, 2020, my oldest brother passed away. It was heroin addiction is what it was. So he overdosed. We saw the whole thing, yada, yada, yada. And it was another, I guess you call it setback or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It was the reason why that one hurt the most is because that was my oldest. Mm-hmm. The oldest, even though me and my middle brother were closer, the oldest is the pack leader.
Yeah, he sets the standard for everybody.
He sets the tone. He's the reason why I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. Mm-hmm. He's the reason why I got my last name tattooed on my forearm. Yeah. No matter what anybody says, he was like, oh, I want to put my last name on my forearm. And I'm like, my oldest wants to do that. I have to do it. It's mandatory. Whatever he said, I have to do it. It was a lot of flashbacks from being a kid and growing up with them and all the stupid things we did. You know, we would get on scooters, go to the top of the hill, and we used to call it extreme scooters is what it was called. And we would go and we would be on this scooter, and then we'd have to push each other off. We would play football in the street. We would jump off the balcony of the house. We would jump off the stairs in the house. And for some reason, I guess it makes sense, right? But I was 26, and all of that stuff started to play back.
That makes sense.
It started to play back, and I was like, again, that one hurt. So I said, damn, those are the two oldest. I'm the baby. That's who I'm supposed to be following. Well, I felt lost at the time.
For sure, because it's at 8, I mean, for 18 years of your life, you had your two brothers, right?
Yep.
And that's all you ever known. And then you go, 8 years, another 8 years,
Yeah.
and you kind of probably start to adapt that, okay, it's just me and my oldest brother now.
Yeah.
We're good. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you know, he was going through whatever he was going through. And I mean, let me back up a little bit. How was that to see him in that addiction? Like, was that, how hard was that? Because I know that's hard. My mom, you know, is still stuck in her addiction.
Yeah.
And so, it's probably one of the hardest things that I have to.
It was one of the hardest things, you know, absolutely, because you follow this guy, you look up to him, you're
just super.
Yeah, to a degree it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, so it was brutal. It was really, really hard because he's supposed to be the pack leader, and you see how drug addiction breaks a home and breaks a family, and you see the things that happen within your house to your parents. You see what happens. You know, it's one of the hardest stories that I've ever told before, but me and him actually fist fought a few times because of issues that him and my parents were having. And I had never felt so low in my life until after that moment. No matter what I've talked about, that is probably one of the lowest moments, is when me and him actually physically got into it. But then I start to think about, like, damn, this is horrible. I don't want to put him out there, so I don't want to put like too many stories in there, right?
No, yeah.
But I see the things that he did, and he was a great person deep down.
Yeah.
But I see how it affects family. You know, there was a time where he got beat up pretty seriously outside of his house, and I see what it does to my parents. I saw what it did. I saw having to go to the hospital and watching him having to rehabilitate that. I've seen him, you know, try to overcome those things.
Yeah.
Like when they're, I've done the Suboxone and stuff like that.
And it's like, I want to be able to take on that burden, and I want to be able to help you fix it.
Yeah.
But the hardest part for me that I had to learn is that's not my battle. Like
and that's the same thing I had to learn to accept.
She has to fight that battle.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't be there for her.
Right.
But it's also to a point where it's like, well, I can't do nothing, you know? And I mean, I haven't talked to my mom in 6 years.
Damn.
Just because, you know, it's just, one, I had to understand that relationship isn't healthy for me.
It's not, you know, and same thing, unfortunately, the more and more you stick around, it's going to bring you down too. Because,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I've never, you know, I mean, done any drug like that, but it's just the mental capacity and the way.
Draining.
Yeah. It's
just draining.
It's super draining. And now, like, my sisters didn't understand, right?
Yeah.
For probably about 5 years. I didn't talk to my sisters for about 5 years.
Damn.
And then no, it was hard. And then one of my sisters that had kids, she reached out to me and she was like, "Hey, can we talk?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, yeah. And, we sat down, we talked, and she was like, "I see why. Like, I see why you stopped coming around."
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, seeing my mom like that, like it just takes me back to my childhood. And I'm like, I'm trying to move past that, you know? But two, it's like, I don't want my kids to even have a thought of what my childhood was.
Yeah.
You know?
No, absolutely.
And, that was probably my biggest thing, was just like, my kids will never
have me around this.
My kids will never know anything bad.
Yeah, it'll give you a different sense of protection, because you know what it's like, you know what it's done to you, and you're like, hell no.
I'm sure, like, I mean, now that you're a new father, you know what I mean, and you already have that idea.
Oh yeah.
But once they growing up and they start asking questions and they're like, hey, why is so and so sleeping all day? You're like, yeah, no.
Stay away from it.
Yeah. So sorry to veer off track.
No, not at all. I mean, that's all good stuff. It's all part of the same story. And that's what happened is that was definitely one of the lowest points of my life. That is why it was one of the lowest points of my life. And I said, you know what? No excuses. Talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I could have, in that moment, I could have really fallen. I could have really rolled over, given up. I could have played the victim role.
Start picking up a vice.
But I've seen from both my parents, they always smile and they do their best to stay happy. My dad is the hardest working person I've ever met to this day.
Mm-hmm.
He'll work me any day of the week. My mom, especially as a mother and as a nurturer, right? Those are your moms. She to this day always smiles. She's always happy. She always has something positive to say and to do. So I sat there and I thought, how can I honor my brothers? How can I honor my family? And that is when I decided to open up NCB Mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
The N is for Nathan, the C is for Chris, and then the B is for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the moment where I said, I got to make this happen for my family. I am the last remaining son. I want to not only honor 2 older brothers that I know have my back, but I want to honor my dad. And I want to honor my mom and let them know that we're still here, we're still standing, and this family is not going anywhere. And it is up to me to carry that weight to make it happen for the family, for the last name, for the people around me, for the people that believe in me. I don't care what stands in my way. People don't understand what weight I carry, and I have learned to control the anger side of it. It's controlled anger. Anger is a good emotion if you know how to control it and guide it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to go and try to start something on a street.
Yeah, but
it's control anger.
I can channel that
Channel.
and have it drive me.
And that's what happened, and that's what I'm trying to do, because I'm a big loyalty guy, and I need to remain loyal to my last name and to my parents, and I will do that forever.
I think it's pretty commendable that, I mean, you go from never being, I don't want to say like the tone setter, right?
Right.
But like now all of a sudden you have to. And well, you technically you don't have to. You're already a grown man. You're already kind of doing your thing. I'm sure your parents are proud of you already.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, nope. Like you know what I mean? Like, it's not enough. Like we're gonna now.
This last name will never ever be forgotten.
Not only am I going to do it for me, but while I'm doing it, I'm also going to represent our last name.
Yep.
And I'm going to honor my 2 older brothers.
Yep.
And we are going to push and we are going to figure this out. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure you didn't know at that moment how. You know what I mean?
Oh, I didn't know how hard it was going to be. Because I know we're going to get into some of the business stuff, but yeah, there were still battles after that.
Mm-hmm.
But this set the tone for where we're going. So or where I'm going now.
At that, I mean, what were some of the challenges you faced? Like, what was because I'm sure there was days where you were wondering, like, is this even worth it? Like, should I keep going? Should I stop? You know, because everyone has those moments in time, you know.
So business or personal life? Either one.
Yeah, both.
So the one that I can vividly remember the most was my second year in business. I felt like my world was actually collapsing. I was overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
We got hit with a $23,000 workman's comp bill. The guy from workman's comp comes into the office and he's like, hey, here you go. Because workman's comp's based off of payroll.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Percentage.
Yeah, it's all a bunch of weird stuff. Comes in, says, you owe us $23,000. And he said, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. Most small companies don't make it out of this. Which pissed me off, but it also overwhelmed me at the time. Because I'm brand new. We're growing fast. We had 5 trucks or so at the time and all that. And you have 4 to 5 people calling you every day. This job, that job, this customer's upset. I had to learn about taking care of customers and eating cost and all that. And that was one of the years where I just, I wanted to give up. I truthfully wanted to give up. Not on, just with everything. I just wanted to give up on life. Like, you know what? I'm done. I'm checked out. This is,
Yeah, so
I put my whole heart and soul into this game so far. I've lost 76,000. I lost 76,000 my first year, but it all starts to stack.
yeah.
And I talk a big game. I know I have. I wouldn't consider myself a loudmouth, but I let people know what I think and where I believe I'm going to go. And in that second year, I truly felt the weight of the world on my shoulders. And I said, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
I was having extreme anxiety, like to where I felt like I would like almost pass out.
What'd you do?
Which doesn't even seem real right now to talk it out.
What did you do for that? How did you cope with that? How did you learn a healthy way to cope with it?
Yeah, so that's a really good question because I know a lot of people deal with it at least more than what they say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's extremely hard. I had lived my whole life pretty solid, pretty good. Nothing ever really got to me, right? We talked about always pushing forward.
Mm-hmm.
And it was weird because I felt like I would pass out just from a phone call, and I'm just like, another one? Like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
To answer your question directly, I worked out as hard as I possibly could. And I actually picked up running. And then I picked up the steam room. I picked up little subtle things, you know? Yeah. But running, if you look into it, it releases some kind of endorphin or hormone. I don't know exactly what the side of it, but it was stuff like that. And then, shout out to my mom. Love you, Mom. This one's for you because I know you always tell me I don't bring you up. So this one's for you. I was overwhelmed. My mom is a nurturer. She wants her kids to be loved. She wants to love them. She wants them to live happy. I told her over and over, hey, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. I think I'm going to quit.
Yeah, that's the person you can go to.
I'm done. And to this day, it's probably some of the best advice I'd ever been given. She would come over to my house and bring me food or something like that because she knew I was going. This was an extremely, extremely difficult time in my life for months. And she goes, well, babe, you can only take it one day at a time. Sounds cliche, but for something like that, it snapped in my head. From that day on, I said, I will win today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow will have its own problems. Yesterday's done.
Yeah.
And that mindset and mantra has helped me weather the darkest days of my life, especially in business. Now, it does not matter how hard the day is. Doesn't matter what problem I ran into. One day at a time. One phone call at a time. Mm-hmm. Did I do my best? Yes. Perfect. Did I mess up? Accountability. How did I mess up? Perfect. Turn the page. I'll focus on doing it better next time. One day at a time.
Someone just recently told me, and it clicked with me, right? Someone said, I was talking about the future and I was stressed about it or whatever was going to go on. They said, why are you going to stress about it twice? You're already going to stress about it tomorrow.
Yep.
They're like, so stop stressing about it today and live in today and be in today and make today your best day. And hopefully you don't have to figure that out tomorrow.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay.
The simplest advice too.
Yeah.
Because we as humans, business owners, it doesn't matter who we are, humans, we all complicate things in life.
Yeah, for sure.
And that helped me simplify my entire life. One day at a time. One run at a time. Everything that I do
one
now.
Call, one job, one whatever.
One thing at a time. If I have this guy, or better example, this customer, and this customer calling me, which one's most important? What do I need to handle? Okay, it's this person X. One phone call. They're going to get all my attention. I will focus on that. And it allowed me to not overwhelm myself, because that's how you overwhelm yourself, is when I got to do this and that, and I got to clean, and I got to do this, and I got to call this person, and the insurance is going up, and the workman's comp just called me, and the guy got into an act. You know what I mean? You overwhelm yourself. Mm-hmm. We as people in these situations have got to simplify things. It's the only way that you're going to make it day to day. One day at a time.
It's the small wins that stack up to be.
Yeah.
To be the big win, right? Like that's, you do a bunch of small stuff during the day, and before you know it, you look at the day at the end of the day and you're like, as much as this day was chaotic, it was also a win. You know what I mean?
It's a win.
And
what did you learn? As long as you can learn something the next morning, what did you learn? Turn the page, because yesterday's done. And I see that a lot with people in general, with their own life, with business, with everything. People dig themselves into these crazy pits and they stay stuck because they're not learning how to turn the page. They stay, oh, my life is so bad and this is so horrible and I have it worse than everybody and I'm the victim and no one's there for me and this. Turn the page. I was that. We've all been there at some point.
Up to 2019, I was that person for probably 10 years of my life.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it was just like, I felt like the world owed me something. I wasn't getting the breaks I wanted to. And I was like, well, you know what I mean? Like, I had no mom. I didn't do this. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you had every opportunity to be sorry for yourself.
And I did. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would feel sorry for myself. And, and I would expect, well, God he has to give me something. Like, he gave me this challenge. But it wasn't until I started to look at myself in the mirror and be like, okay, what can you control and what can you change?
Exactly.
Well, you could change your attitude. You could find someone out there that knows what you're going through, that can help you get past what you're going through. So putting down the ego, being vulnerable with people, and stop being like a rock. And that's whenever my life grew, because I started going to counseling, started talking, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then not only that, but I became comfortable with my story. And it was like, because as a kid, it's something you're embarrassed of, right? Like, hi, my name is Josh, and my mom's, you know, this, and this. And it's like, but as I started telling my story, everyone's like, I grew up just like you did. And I'm like, no, like, for real?
Yeah, everyone has a story.
We grew up together, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and everyone has a story. And that's why it's important to not stay so focused on just yourself. You know, there's other people that have had it way harder or something similar. Let's show up. Let's make something happen today. Let's turn the page and focus on it being 0.5% better today.
The moment I decided to turn the page, and the moment I decided to just,
that's when your life changes.
I'm done. All right, I'm done. Like, let me figure out what's next.
Exactly.
And then that was the moment that I just started to turn each page and just be like, okay, here, this is what today is.
You have to reflect.
And I will say, like, one thing I have learned is to go through my emotions in that moment in time. Like, okay, is this a true emotion, or is this just a feeling?
Yep.
And it's like, okay, well, if it's a feeling, well, whatever, you know what I mean? But if it's something I'm truly in the emotion I'm going through, let's figure this out and let's not dwell on it. But you know what I mean? Like,
just understand it. That's important too, is you do need to feel these things. Like you said, you need to let it flow through you. Because then it goes back to the reflection and accountability side. Then you can look back and say, that's how I felt. I want more of it, less of it. It doesn't matter. But that's where you turn the page.
Yep. And then that's
you can't blank it out.
That's how you go forward, right? It's like, okay, is this something I have to deal with right now in this moment?
Right.
Or is this something I could deal with tonight whenever I get home?
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? And those are the small things where you're like, okay, I'll deal with that later. And then you look back on it and you're like, okay, well, you know, let me keep moving forward, or whatever it is. Let me turn the page, you know?
Turn the page.
Sometimes we may go through these moments, or we go through these issues where you look back on it the next day and you're like, well, that wasn't even that big of a deal.
Wasn't bad.
Like, what was I stressing for?
There's a mind shift when you're able to sit there and say, okay, let me turn the page. Once you do that enough times, it becomes habit to sit there and say, turn the page. And then you're like, oh yeah, that wasn't too bad. I'm on to today. Yep. I only have today to focus on. I'm going to take care of this, and this. And that's all I can do.
Everything else comes or whatever
is the absolute best that I can do.
And you know, I have a lot of people like come, or like, especially family, right? And they're like, how do you stay away? Like, how do you not be around your family for the holidays and you know, this, that, and that, and this? And I'm like, honestly, like, I don't know, like, you just do it. Like, you turn the page. Are you tired of it or not?
Yeah.
Are you tired of being treated the way you are or not?
Right.
And that's one thing I've definitely learned, is just tomorrow's a new day, tomorrow's a new chapter. Every day is a chapter.
Yeah, days are hard. In business and life, you will face so much adversity every single day. That you need to learn how to
throw a newborn in there.
And then you throw a newborn in there, which is it's a fun time, right?
Yeah.
You have to learn how to. Yeah. You have to learn how to go to the next day.
How has being a new father, like, has it changed you? Has it? Did you find like that push, that new push, or it's like, okay, I have something now.
Yeah. So my daughter, so it's a girl. That way I can, inherit that. It's made me want to be at least the best man I can possibly be, because I need her to look up, or I need her to have her be able to look up to someone.
Yeah.
I don't want her. I set the tone, right? I don't want her to be lost, or I don't want her to seek guidance or something like that from another man. I want to be her superhero someday, and I absolutely believe I will be. I believe one day she's gonna watch this and say he is, and I will be, because I will be the hardest, most dedicated man she has ever met in her entire life. I will quote that on 12/16 or whatever today's date is.
Yeah.
She will know someday, and I will be that standard. And she's gonna know if this clown, shows up late. No, you're not a man of your word. You don't cut it.
No, that's so. I have 3 girls. I have,
Okay.
All 3 of my girls are there. My 3 girls are like in the middle.
Yeah.
So I have a 12-year-old, and she's very much like that. And she was like, well, if he forgot to do something, or he forgot, something he forgot, she's like, nope.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, like, why? Like that's kind of like, it's kind of harsh. You know what I mean? Like I'm not sticking up for the kid, but I'm like,
But still,
you know what I mean? I'm like, dang, girl. And she's like, well, what? Like, you wouldn't do that. And I'm like, you're right.
you're right, and that's what I want.
You're right. And that's, I don't know. Like, I think for me, whenever I first met my wife, I was 19, she was 18. I took her some flowers.
You guys are young.
Yeah. And that was the first time she ever got flowers in her life. And like, she was excited. Like, and then in that moment, like, I was like, oh, I got her in the bag. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but then as I sat back and I'm like, I think I had my daughter, and like, I don't know why that day replayed in my head. Maybe because that's where like it all started. And I was just like, from this day forward, like, I'll make sure my daughter will never get excited over some flowers. Like that's their minimum, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like anytime for birthdays, concerts, like, Valentine's Day, you know what I mean? Like they get a minimum of flowers, because it's like, I don't want some guy just be like, yup, I got her flowers, and it's like,
It ain't that easy. Yeah.
no, it's not that easy. Like, you know what I mean? It's not, because I mean, my wife didn't have a father growing up, you know what I mean? So she didn't know, you know what I mean, all these things. And it's like, now the same thing probably with my sons, like, you know what I mean? I didn't have a mother growing up, so I didn't know like some of the things she did. Just rub my back, scratch my head, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh yeah, like this is it. I loved it. Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, my sons will never, like, that's like, hey, can you scratch my head? You know what I mean? Like, that's just something normal. So it's definitely breaking those curses like that,
Well, this is not a relationship podcast, but there's not that many great options out there, let's be honest. And I don't want her, exactly what you just said. I don't need her to think the bare minimum is where it's at.
No.
Is this a man of his word? Does he show up on time? Does he have direction? Does he have a career or something that
vision?
Or is he just a talker? Mm-hmm. Because dudes like to talk a lot, and then I see him, and these guys have grand plans, and I'm like, well, what do you? You don't even work hard for it.
6 months ago, you were talking about this. Now you're doing this.
Exactly.
And I think that's probably the biggest thing is I instill all my kids is anyone could talk. Anyone could say something, but I would rather show you through my actions rather than me just talking about it, right? And I mean, it's always good to talk about it, but I mean,
but you got to back it up. And that's what I want her to learn.
Sure.
Dating or whatever she decides to do.
Yeah.
If they talk, that's fine, but they better back it up. And if they don't back it up with some kind of action, nope, wrong one.
Yeah.
And don't bring him over either.
Try again. Yeah. Father.
Yeah.
Now, where else are you today? What, I mean, you had your moment where, okay, this is the company. This is how I'm going to honor my brothers, how I'm going to honor my last name, my dad, what does today look like for you?
So today looks like everything you just said. And then on top of the business stuff, I still go to the gym. I go to the gym every morning to lift weights. I go 5 o'clock or so. I picked up kickboxing and jiu-jitsu again. I've been doing that for the last year and a half. and just running and growing this business and trying to make it the biggest company the state has ever seen. Somehow, some way to will it there. This year we'll do a little over 3 million, and we've been around since 2020.
Nice.
The very end of 2020, you might as well call it 2021 actually.
So 4 years.
Yeah, because January 2021 is when we really started marketing and
pushing.
So
4 years you really probably sought out what you said to do, and it's like, okay, well, now it's time to bump it up. You know what I mean?
It's time to go. Well, I like to swing for the fences, and that's exactly what I'm doing with it. And I truly believe that this company is gonna be somewhere someday. And we're good now. I mean, we got about 13, 14 trucks, and then about 20 people. So we're doing all right.
That's solid. I mean,
Yeah.
it's more than 2021 when you only had 4 trucks.
Oh yeah, we've come a long way, and learning all those balances of business. It's been a journey.
I mean, definitely, I think, again, the most commendable thing is just you've had opportunities to hit rock bottom, and you've looked it in the face, and you're like, no.
No retreat.
This isn't gonna define me, right? And a lot of people, they do allow those moments to define them, whether it's a day, 2 days, or even their whole life, you know?
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about. They dig themselves in a hole and they just stay stuck there and say, "Oh, woe is me." That saying.
Yeah. So what keeps you moving forward on those hard days? Like now, is it just
what keeps me moving forward? Is of course my daughter. And proving my last name right, you know, that this family's battled through a lot, and I want to make something happen for them. Not only that, but also the people that come on and believe in me. You know, like I said earlier, I'm a loyalty guy. There's people out there that have believed in me, and there's people that are still riding with me to this day. And I want to make them happy.
I definitely think, I mean, there's probably a person out there that believed in you more than you believed in yourself. And those, and those are the people you just want to prove them right. You know what I mean? And it's always nice to prove people wrong, you know, but it's to prove that one person that.
But it's a different satisfaction to prove them right, because you're like, you know, I made them proud. You know, my best friend came on with me when he was, or in 2021 actually, and he bugged me for months on end to just give him a chance. Hey, come on. I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't know what role you would play. And even in this role that I'm thinking you would play, I don't even know the structure of it. But anyways, he kept bugging me. He put his 2 weeks on, came on, and has been with us ever since. So it's people like that, or people that have left different companies and come on with me, that I feel a sense of loyalty to them. As a man, I have to have their back and make sure that they're in a better situation than where they were. That means everything to me, is to put people on.
Sure.
Yeah. So those are the things that you know really push me.
That's kind of how, you know, I would imagine my co-host is. He's very, very the same way. You know, people depend on him. It not only does he do it for himself, right, and for his own selfish reasons. One thing he's very big on, because we've had these conversations, is how can I get you to my level? Instead of it being, well, this is my level, you got to just come here. You know, and it's like, no, like, I want you to be greater than me. I want you to be big, because there's going to be stuff that you know that I don't know. Yeah,
and that's what I try to teach even the people around me. Hey, this is what I did. These are the steps I took. I don't like to hold back information from anybody. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. If it's real estate investing, it doesn't matter if it's going to the gym. This is what worked for me.
Yeah.
This is why you should do it. You could choose to do it, whatever. But I like to be an open book with people, because I don't like the closed book stuff. I never liked it growing up. It was just annoying.
Yeah, no, for sure. People.
Hey, man, we on the same team or not? We're gonna ride this out, or are you gonna leave me behind here?
Yeah.
But I like to pull people up, and you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. Just a couple more closing questions, and then, you know, we'll kind of do a little recap. What does chosen to change mean to you? Like, you think of that? I
think I was chosen to change the world somehow. That's what I think. Yeah, somehow, you know, I was. For some reason, God chose me to keep me here, but chose me to be a difference maker in the family, and chose me to brighten people's lives.
It's exactly what chosen to change is.
Yeah.
Well, there's one person in every family that was just chosen.
So it's a Lil Wayne and the Game song called My Life.
Yeah.
In that song, I've listened to it thousands of times. I rewind. When I stare at these words, so to answer your question more clearly, Lil Wayne says, "Dear Lord, you have taken so many of my people. I'm just wondering why you haven't taken my life." Yeah. So when you ask me that question, that's where it takes me to is, I believe
I'm here.
God at least has me for a reason. And I need to make him proud. I need to make my family proud. I need to make the people around me proud. And I will swing until my last breath to make sure that the people around me are successful and to make sure my last name is never forgotten.
I mean, only you can do that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Only you can do something like that, which I think that's probably the most powerful thing behind it all is I can't do that for you or your family. You know what I mean? I can play a part in it, you know, and no, there's definitely a part. This is something for, you know, your kids to look back on or your mom to watch or dad to watch. And I try to have my dad watch podcasts and he's like, well, I don't even know how to work that. Whatever, dude. But, you know, only you can change that for you and your family. And you are doing that. Yeah. I mean, you are playing your part to make sure your last name is better off.
Better and never, ever forgotten.
That's it. And
nice nails will reign for some time, people. I'm telling you.
That's the legacy right behind it. Either people leave a good legacy or, you know, I mean, unfortunately, I mean, some people also can leave a bad legacy. You know? And I think you've really just embodied that and pushed to create a whole new legacy for you and your family. And I mean, you're also doing something that's going to be here, hopefully, you know, after you.
Exactly. You know, and those are things that
put a well-oiled machine.
Yep. That's how I'm going to be the best man ever. Yeah. And there's families out there that are very prominent, and it's not about power or anything like that. I'm just saying I want my family and the people around me to be set up for life.
Yeah.
When my daughters, you know, go around the store and, hey, do you know my dad? He's on the billboard or he's doing whatever, you know, she's excited.
Yeah.
I want to bring that proud. I want to bring that excitement back to people. Hey, do you know where I work? NCB Mechanical. We're going places. He's taking care of me. You should come on too. I want that pull to a degree where people are like, Brandon size.
Yeah. He did it.
He did.
Started it.
Yeah.
What, last thing before we close out, what's something you got to say to the people watching?
Something I got to say to the people that we've covered a lot of it. Make sure you're accountable. Make sure you show up every day. And make sure you believe in yourself, because not everyone's going to sit there and believe in you. And that is one of the things that I see a lot of people struggle with, is that they do not believe in themselves. They struggle with doubt and with fear. You get one life and one opportunity. The Eminem thing. You got to show up and make it happen. Don't ever make excuses. Don't ever fold. And don't ever quit. That will be my thing.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. It was a great conversation. We didn't really know much of each other, so a lot of, you know, here and there, and also just learning each other.
No, this is phenomenal.
I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you reaching out, and maybe we could do another one and look back. Hey, this is where we are a year later, 2 years later.
Yeah.
And so we are chosen to change. You have the moment and the opportunity to change your life as well. See you next week.